Welcome to the Sacred Wild. We gather today to step into what it is to embrace the inner world of the safety way of being. And today so happens to be Mother's Day in this part of the world, a day in which we celebrate the mother. And I didn't plan it this way. It just naturally aligned, as of course it would. Embracing the inner world of safety. And this gathering is going to go a little differently than most of our gatherings. We'll still hold somewhat of the same format. And today is going to be about the mother. What better representation of what it is to embrace the inner world of safety than the mother? The mother that holds us, the mother that supports us and nourishes us no matter what, the mother whose sole purpose here on this earth is to create for us safety, love, connection. And as we walk into this, I don't know how much my microphone picks up, but you may hear uh, laughing and noise and the handpan and lightsaber fights, as I have a number of teenage children that stayed at my house last night after the basketball game. It was the finals. And um, so I have my most perfect Mother's Day happening here, a house full of children, a home that I've been able to create that is safe for these children. That is a space of safety and freedom, a sanctuary for them to come and be exactly as they are. And that is the greatest Mother's Day gift that I could ever receive. And that's what it is to be a mother. Yes. To be the recipient of reflections of safety when things are going crazy and wild and uncertain and difficult. Who do we turn to? Who do we look to as our pillar of everything's okay? Yes, the fathers create this stability, this sturdiness, this groundedness, this fierceness that allows us to flow freely within. And in the midst of it, even when the masculine becomes uncertain, the eyes turn to the mother. What state is the mother in? What state is the feminine in? Because if the feminine is not flowing freely, then there is cause for concern. Then something is not safe. And so today we come and gather in homage to the mother that lives in all of us, whether we are man or woman, child or adult. The mother exists in all of us, and the mother is here for all of us. It is one thing that every single person in this world has in common, and that we all come from the mother. And so today we walk into embracing the inner world of safety, and we walk into the womb of the mother. And in the sacred wild, we gather in these gatherings, in these containers, in these sanctuaries, so we can practice together. And we have 6 core practices here, and they build the foundation, the structure of this gathering. And so we start with movement. Movement is the embodiment of our medicine, of our message. What does our medicine tell us to do? How does our medicine move us, guide us to move through this life? And movement is just that movement. Stillness is a movement. We can dance, we can shake, we can sit, we can crawl, we can roll around, we can do yoga, we can do qigong, we can do whatever it is that our body feels it needs. This is the space to create for that. And I have 2 songs set up for us that are representative of the mother. We then move into prayer, and this is going to be a prayer to the mother today. This is going to be an offering of ourselves to the mother today. Once we have moved and once we have opened the gateways of connection to the mother, we are going to sit with the mother in meditation. Meditation, this is our ability to be with the mother. Just be. Sit in the essence of what we created, and we will do that for 10 minutes today. Just bask in the gloriousness of what it is to be held by mother. After that, we open up the space to our last 3 core practices, and that is contemplation, listening to the mother. Then we fall into expression. What is our medicine? What is our message? As well as witnessing, the ability to be witnessed, to be seen in our medicine, and to see others in their medicine as we witness others. And oftentimes when we have more than me here, we will open up the space to the round table that allows us to bring all of our perspectives, our perceptions, our medicines to this round table and expand the essence and impact that we are able to experience together. Because here in the sacred wild, differences are the invitation for expansion, for opening our mind and widening our being. Differences are welcome and celebrated. Differences are critical and important. We are our own unique vibration in this world, and when we come together, we deepen that vibration. And today, it is me. It is me that is here. I still have little sparkles left on my face from the basketball game yesterday. It just shines occasionally. I love it. And so as we go into our first practice together, we step into 2 different songs that have come to me this morning as I sit here and savor the richness of Mother's Day. And the first song is Mothers by Emory Hall and Trevor Hall. And the first time I heard this song, it was just so potent, so rich. And the next song is Mama by Sam Garrett and Molly Mendoza. And I mean, Sam Garrett and Molly Mendoza together are just brilliant and deep. And it's just such a beautiful expression of devotion and worship to the mother. And so enjoy, my friends. Allow yourselves to move and be moved by the essence of the mother. Just a moment. I need to disconnect it. Okay, we're gonna try this again. I was connected to the speaker, which is out with the boys. They're like, what the hell is that? Oh, I love it. Here we go.
mothers that live inside my chest. I speak to them in quiet moments, under night skies and in my dreams. We are the keepers of a forest full of hearts, the tenders of its fertile soil, the readers of its leaves, the guardians of its wild territory. Sometimes we dance together, drunk on the perfume of 1,000 blossoms of love. Sometimes we rub honey on our ribs, broken from 1,000 lifetimes of heartbreak. Sometimes we rest and forget the weight we carry just for a moment. I meet these mothers in secret, but they teach me everything I know. Mothers. Yeah, mama, I feel the earth calling us home, back to the heart, to the wild unknown. Humbled and gracious is where we belong. One family, one track, and we all get along. We call on the stars, the rivers and trees. We learn from the mountains, the birds and the bees. We gather this anger, our roots grow down deep, beneath the surface, beyond our beliefs. We can come home, children, don't be afraid. Life is your teacher, so don't run away. Stay wild and free, raise your hands up and pray. This is our moment, there's only today. Hey, mamacita, show us the way. We'll no longer hide from the shadows and pain. We are alive, we are awake, we are the open, and this is our fate. Tierra, mi cuerpo, agua, mi sangre, aire, mi aliento, y fuego, mi espíritu. Tierra, mi cuerpo, agua, mi sangre, aire, mi aliento, y fuego, mi espíritu. Yeah, yeah. You bring us medication, you bring us meditation. Jedmo, jedmo. I feel the earth beneath my feet. I feel the life within her leaves. I feel her song in the rain that falls. I feel the warmth in her heart that calls. I feel the earth beneath my feet. I feel the life within her leaves. I feel her song in the rain that falls. I feel the warmth in her heart that calls. Hey mama, hey mama, hey. 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 Hey mama, hey mama, hey.
We allow ourselves to come back to this space, this sanctuary that is so deeply and richly potent with the mother, as it always is, but we allow ourselves to recognize it, to be aware of it, to be present with it. The mother, Thank you, Mother, for this life. Thank you, Mother, for this breath. Thank you, Mother, for the noise of 14-year-old boys having fun because they are safe. Thank you, Mother, for the feeling of what it is to be held with the love that has no condition. As a sister of mine, Cindy, said, I will walk through the fire with you, is what a mother's love feels like, is what a mother's love is. I will love you, even when you don't love yourself. I will love you, even when you don't believe you deserve it. I will love you, whether you receive it or not. I will love you beyond anything you will ever know is possible. Thank you, Mother, for showing me what it is to be a mother. Thank you, Mother, for your patience as I learned. Thank you, Mother, for loving me like a mother when I didn't know how to be a mother. Thank you, Mother, for your patience. Thank you, Mother, for your strength. Thank you, Mother, for showing me what it is to stand on my own 2 feet. And thank you, Mother, for showing me that I have what I need to do so. Thank you, Mother, for never making me have to, because I always know you're there. Thank you, Mother, for all of the different forms you come in, and thank you for all of the different faces you hold. Thank you for all of the reflections you show yourself in. Thank you for showing me that I can't do it wrong and that I can't be wrong, that my being isn't something that is wrong with this world, even though that's what I believed for so long. Thank you, Mother, for teaching me how to create a safe space for children. And thank you, Mother, for showing me that I am a safe space for children, including myself. Thank you, Mother, for showing me the way. Thank you, Mother, for teaching me that my womb is a temple, a sanctuary, a sacred space. Thank you, Mother, for showing me that my blood that comes every month is holy. Thank you, Mother, for showing me that I have the ability to hold death in my body and to let it go over and over and over, just as capable as I am of holding life in my body. Thank you, Mother, for showing me that there is no difference between birth and death. Thank you, Mother, for the ground beneath my feet. Thank you, Mother, for the blood flowing in my veins. Thank you, Mother, for the breath I breathe into my lungs. Thank you, Mother, for the fire that is my soul. Thank you, Mother, for showing me what it is to listen after my need to be heard was satiated because you listened. Thank you, Mother, for showing me what it is to hold space. Thank you, Mother, for showing me that I am you. Thank you, Mother, for burning away everything that clouds that vision. Thank you, Mother, for burning away everything that veils that expression. Thank you, Mother, for being a tender and fierce teacher. Thank you, Mother, for loving me so much that you will never allow me to be less than the magnificence that I am. And thank you, Mother, for reflecting that magnificence to me every single day, even when I am not ready or willing to see it. Thank you, Mother, for standing by my side even when I walked away. Thank you, Mother, for receiving me with open and loving arms when I returned. Thank you, Mother, for living in every single person on this earth, in every single being on this planet and beyond. Thank you, Mother, for living in the mystery and inviting me in. Thank you, Mother, for the initiation of what it is to be a woman. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Mother. And as we step into our space of meditation, of being with the Mother, I invite you to allow the Mother to come to you with different faces, different bodies, different essences. Allow the hate to be melted. Allow the judgment to drop. Allow the resistance to fall. Allow yourself to be loved by the Mother, even if you don't know what that means because you didn't have a mother that loved you. Breathe into that. Let yourself melt and drop into that. We will sit with that for 10 minutes. And when that time is complete, I will bring us back. Allow yourself to be loved. And as we continue bathing in the essence of the mother, we can begin to feel her waking up our body. We can begin to feel our fingers and our toes. We can feel that love running through our hands and our feet, our wrists and ankles, our arms and legs. We feel that love running through our entire torso, our chest. Feel it in our neck, opening up our voice. You feel it in our face, our cheeks as they plump when we smile, and our eyes as they shine from beauty. And in your own divine timing, at your own authentic pace, you can open your eyes and come back to this sacred space. Mm, my friends. The mother, embracing the inner world of safety. You know, we as humans develop our core and foundational beliefs, identities, thought systems, stories as children. We develop those from the people who are our caregivers in whatever role that is: mother, father, teacher, grandparents, siblings. And that is what we're exploring today, our inner world, what our inner world is made of, the beliefs, identities, thought systems, and stories. And if you take a look back at your life from the age of 0 to 7, as far back as you can remember, as much as you can remember, and you take a look at the environment that you were in, you can begin to see the patterns. You can begin to see, okay, I can see where those beliefs came from based on how your caregivers treated you. The stories they told you became your stories. The environment that was created the thought systems that you have now. How your caregivers treated you created the identities, the belief of who you believe yourself to be. And it's so easy to step into that blame. And I think it's a necessary step to do so in a healthy, safe way, um, in a supportive way, to have somebody hold space for you while you rage and get angry, have a coach or some type of support to help you kind of deconstruct or uncover these items. But there's a piece that comes after it. There's a piece in which the the call to see your caregivers as human beings as well. This offered me so much growth and healing and freedom and understanding. And sometimes that type of understanding only comes with age. But you're here now. And so the invitation, the call is here. The doors being opened for you to dive into or walk into this path of being able to see the caregivers who may have given you beliefs and identities and thought systems and stories that didn't serve you as an adult because they didn't know any other way. We get to see them as humans. They were not just our caregivers. They were not just our mothers or fathers or grandparents or teachers or babysitters. They were human too. They are human too. And they were human men as well. Tap into your humanness. And what I mean by that is the I don't know what the fuck I'm doing this. The I'm trying to figure this outness. This I'm just doing the best that I fucking can ness. Tap into that. And then I would love for you to offer that to your caregivers. That maybe, just maybe, they really were doing the best that they fucking could. And that best may have fucked you up. Because sometimes the best that we do can fuck people up in our lives too. When we know better, we do better. And by better, I mean more aligned with our truth, with love. And so, as I hear the boys playing the handpan and dropping the little mallet and it hits the singing bowls, my instinct is to yell, "Hey, be careful." But what the opportunity of being able to see my mom as a human gave me is this pause. And then to ask the question, what's important? Is what's important those singing bowls? Or is what's important the exploration? Or is what's important allowing this experience to guide what I'm offering right here? Because right now they're adding to this experience. Now I have handpans and singing bowls playing in the background. I hear my son guiding his friends into how to use them responsibly, into telling them right now, don't do it until it gets too loud because it may break and we need to be careful with these. They're important. My 14-year-old son coaching his friends on the importance it is to respect these tools. But if I would have intervened, none of that would have happened. My instinct of saying, don't do that, be careful, you aren't supposed to play with that, comes from those belief systems that were embedded in me as a child. And I've had the beautiful privilege of being able to do the work around seeing my parents as humans. Because when I do that, then I get to realize that they had their own shit, that their word wasn't law, even though it was law at that time because I was a child and I didn't know any better. They were my world. They were my God. They were the ones that were telling me how to live in life. Being able to see them as human takes away the requirement for me to believe everything they believed, for me to believe I am who they believed I was and treated me as. It gives me the freedom to no longer live within the thought systems that they gave me and to no longer have to tell or live in the stories that they offered me. Instead, I get to breathe. I get to create my own beliefs. I get to harness my own identities, believe I am who I believe myself to be. I get to cultivate my own thought systems and I get to weave my own stories. And part of that is offering my children the freedom to do the same, to offer the children that were gifted to me, that chose me as their mother, freedom to learn their lessons and be teachers for me all the same. And to step in when needed and to hold boundaries, to offer guidance, to step in when I see things are getting to step in when I see things are getting to be in a way that isn't serving and supportive of them. Not by telling them what to do, but by asking questions. What makes you want to do this? How does this make you feel? What is your experience right now? What are you feeling? What do you want to do? How can I support you? What do you need? Because, contrary to popular belief, I don't know what my children need. I barely know what I need most of the time. And so my role as a mother has transitioned from this space of telling my children what to do and who to be to this space of holding space while they figure out who they are and what they need. While they walk their journey, I am holding space while they learn how to be. I've been given the opportunity and the gift and the privilege of supporting them on this journey. And that is the essence of the mother. And that's what I'm here to do with anybody who chooses to come play with me here in the sacred wild, with anybody who chooses to walk with me here. Anybody who is here has given me the gift and honor and privilege of holding space and supporting them. And so that's what we get to do here. We get to allow the mother to hold us on this journey. And so, how do we embrace the inner world of safety? And we walked through this process with the prepared way of being. And it's the same process, different essence. So the invitation here is to allow the mother to hold you, allow that mother's love to hold you. While you begin exploring the bits, beliefs, identities, thoughts, and stories that you have currently, we got to know where we are. And sometimes it's hard and it's shitty because we don't fucking like where we are, or we're embarrassed of where we are, humiliated where we are. We shouldn't be here. Why the fuck am I here? The why, I mean, it can be important if you want it to be, but it's not necessary. The what is. So, what are the beliefs that you currently hold about safety? What are the identities, the belief of who you believe yourself to be? What identities do you hold around safety? Who do you believe yourself to be in regard to safety? What thoughts do you have or thought systems do you have currently around safety, if any? And what stories do you have around safety? Be honest here, babe. Give yourself the privilege of seeing where you are right now, of witnessing yourself. Because it's from this space of understanding where you are, what you hold right now, that you can then begin moving in a different direction if you so desire, or you can begin deepening in the position that you're in right now if that's what feels good. Then do more of that. But allow yourself to get oriented in where you are now. And some of you may be like, I don't even know what the hell you mean, beliefs about safety, or who I believe myself to be in regard to safety. So just a few examples. Beliefs. I used to believe that having any regard around safety was weak, that making my safety important was a sign of weakness. And that put me in some pretty unsafe situations. And once I realized that I had never held my safety as a priority, it's when I was able to begin to cultivate an importance around my safety. Identities. Who do you believe yourself to be around safety? Are you safe within yourself? Are you safe? Are you a safe being? Do you feel safe with yourself in your presence? Do other people feel safe with you? Are you a sanctuary, a space of safety and freedom for yourself first, always and in all ways, and for others? We explored a bit last week about what safety means to us. So take that intention, that medicine, and take that vision. And does the belief that you currently hold about who you believe yourself to be align? Thought systems. What thoughts do you have about safety? Do you have any thoughts about safety? Is safety even a word in your vocabulary that gets used? What is safety to you? And this is going to lead into, like, what thoughts do you have about safety? What do you think about safety? And, like, this is going to lead into what we dive into in our next gathering when it comes to embodying in the outer world, embodying safety in the outer world, because we're going to be talking about consent and boundaries. Right. And it first starts to know what those are. What are your boundaries? And boundaries are what allows you to feel safe, secure, sacred, and free in this world. Right. So and they get to change and shift. It's not going to be the same. This is something we get to revisit day in and day out. And these are going to be different for each situation and each person and each experience. And they're meant to be different and fluid. But what thoughts do you have about safety? Have you contemplated safety? And then stories. What stories do you have about safety? I mean, I think back to Jaden's dad when Jaden was younger, and when Jaden would start crying, he'd be like, be a man, stop crying, be a man. What kind of story does that give him about safety? It says that if he feels unsafe and he expresses that, then that means he's not a man. And then to see the evolution of that, where yesterday at the basketball tournament, I mean, these boys brought the school's basketball team to the playoffs for the first time ever in the history of the school, and they made it to the finals. They won their first two playoff games and they made it to the finals and they lost. They lost that game. And to witness all of the men holding their sons as they were crying, and to see the coaches celebrate the team. There were no harsh conversations. There was no, you should have done better, could have done better, we'll do better next time. There was no, we'll do better next time. There was a holy shit, look at what you did today. And to see the kid's dad hold Jaden as Jaden's standing there with tears just running down his eyes. And he's just holding himself sturdy and strong, but he's allowing himself to cry, and for his dad to hold him and say, I love you and I'm so proud of you. Stories get to shift, but what stories do you have now around safety? And then once we get oriented in where we are, then we get to let our imagination run loose. We get to run wild and free. We let our inner child take the reins and show us where we desire to be. That vision that we explored in the last gathering, what beliefs does the version of you living in that vision have about safety? What identities, who does the version of you living in that vision believe themselves to be? Who does that version believe themselves to be? What identities does that person hold? What thought systems? What does that version of you think about safety? How often does that version of you think about safety? What does that version of you think about safety? What thought systems are alive for you there? And then stories. What stories does that version of you weave regarding safety and the vision that you have in the safety way of being, or in the big grand vision that we worked with at the opening ceremony of this version of the path? There is nothing that is unreasonable here. There is nothing that is too far-fetched here. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. So allow yourself to get creative, allow yourself to open and flow, give yourself everything that you need to be safe, because safety is required for creativity. Safety is required for play. Safety is required to step into your imagination. So give yourself what you need to be safe, and then let your imagination run wild. And then begin implementing that into pieces throughout your days. Start using the beliefs as mantras so they ground into your being. Practice imagining these identities that you are stepping into, and literally step into them. Vision yourself standing in front of you and give yourself all of the qualities and aspects for these identities. What clothes would you wear? How would you feel? What would you look like? What energy would you be holding? And then physically step into that version of yourself. Allow that version of yourself, that identity to allow yourself to step into that and feel yourself and witness how your posture changes, witness how you shift and change, witness how you feel changes, and then allow yourself to be guided by that. You can step into that version of yourself anytime you forget, anytime you need to. Make it a daily practice. Fuck, make it an hourly practice. Thoughts. You can use those thoughts as mantras as well. You can start carving out time in your day to simply contemplate safety. Get curious about what your boundaries are. Get curious about what boundaries are to you. Get curious about what safety is to you. Get curious about what thoughts you want to have and spend time just sitting there thinking those thoughts. And then stories. Storytelling is one of the most potent and powerful medicines there is. It is what creates reality. And so write a fucking fairy tale. Write a fairy tale around safety. Read it to yourself every night before you go to bed. Read it every morning, the first thing you do when you wake up. Daydream about it. You're busy in your workday and feeling overwhelmed. Go back to your fairy tale for a moment or two, or the rest of the day. And then begin weaving those stories into the words that you use. And again, we'll go into that, our actions, words, and energy next week. But this is that foundation. This is where all of that stems from. So do the underneath work, the work that nobody sees. This is what creates potent and lasting change and transformation. And allow the mother to hold you the entire time. And so I'm going to close that here, but I want to see something. Give me just a second. I want to see if I can do this closing that I had visioned while I was in the meditation. And the request, I'm about to end. Oh, we're gonna flip the book. Okay, I'm about to end my meeting. And I was in my meeting by howling to see if you guys would come in and howl with me. Sure. Howl, yes, howl. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna have the boys come in. Come on. Okay, and we're gonna howl. Get down so they can see you in the screen. Ready? We're gonna howl together. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, boys. All right, loves. I will close it out like that. What a perfect Mother's Day. So much love.